Okay, this is how to get farm loans part 2. So I made part 1 a while ago now, so I think I need to make part 2 to be updated. There's a lot more information now. A lot of the loan amounts have changed, and I've gotten more information too, just looking into it more. So how to get a farm loan, how to buy a farm. It's one of these things that's almost like esoteric. It's hard to figure out. It's hard to get information on. So we're going to help you out on that. So one of the first things that you need to know is the FSA. So this is the Farm Service Agency. This is a branch of the USDA, and this group's going to be your best friend. So they're going to be the ones that believe in you enough to actually give you money when a bank won't. So a bank's not just going to give some random person with a projected farm income business plan a bunch of money. They're going to want to see that you're already making a bunch of money and that you have good credit and all this stuff. So this is your first line when you need a farm loan. So it's called the FSA. So probably the main kind of loan that you're going to be looking into is a beginning farmer loan. So the beginning farmer loan is a loan that requires zero money down, which is very enticing for anyone getting into farming because it costs a lot of money. So there's a couple different kinds. There's a direct ownership loan where you own the land you're buying a farm. That's up to $600,000, and that's zero money down. And then there's a farm operating loan where you're getting operating expenses like seeds, fertilizer, cattle, things like that, machinery, tractors. So that's up to $400,000, and that's also zero money down. And then there's also these things called microloans, which are a lot less stringent and a lot less of a huge process to go through than the conventional loans, but they only go up to $50,000. So you have to start a little bit smaller. That's why they're called microloans. But the requirements to get them are a little bit lower. Like they're a little bit easier to get, just a little bit easier. So that's something to look into too. If you're starting really small and you really don't have much experience at all, you could also look into these microloans. So let's start off with the requirements that you need for these different kinds of loans. Okay, so for a microloan, we'll start off with the easiest requirements. So the easiest requirement that you need is literally no farm experience, but have a mentor. So a mentor could be somebody in your community that you know that does this kind of farming, and they can teach you. Probably the easiest place to meet a mentor, they want you to have somebody that's like there in person that can like go to your farm and like look at it and check it out for you. So the easiest place to probably meet a mentor is to go to a farmer's market. Start going to farmer's market. If you go to a market every week and you're supporting this farmer, I mean, don't lay it on them right away, because it'll be like, okay, this is kind of a lot. I'm not really ready for this. But if you go there a couple weeks in a row, you're buying their stuff, you're talking to them, maybe ask them some questions about their farm and their gardening, and be like, yeah, I'm really interested in this. This is really cool. Like, how do you do this? I'm sure they'll be open to talk to you about it and tell you. And then, after you get to know them, a couple weeks goes by, you've talked to them a few times, maybe you could ask them like, hey, would you be my mentor? So a thing to get these microloans, one of the requirements is you have to have a mentor. Or you can have 1 year of experience, of farming experience on your own that's documented through your taxes on your Schedule F taxes. You can have 1 year farming experience to get a micro loan. That's an operating loan to get equipment, to rent land, to do all these things. Or have 3 years of experience to buy land with the $50,000. So, but the lowest barrier to entry, if you have no experience, is to find somebody at a farmer's market that's a mentor, or that can be your mentor, somebody that you've talked to, somebody that, buy some of their stuff and then talk to them and ask them, like, if they see you're serious and you're actually supporting them, they'll want to support you back. They'll want to do the favor back, because you're coming to their market and buying their produce for them. So that's the lowest barrier of entry, but it's only $50,000. So it's really hard to buy land for $50,000, and you're not going to be able to buy any land with the mentorship. That's only going to be for an operating loan. So you're still going to have to rent. So they could give you up to $50,000 to rent land, get maybe a small tractor, get your infrastructure built, get seeds, get fertilizer, get all that, really get you a base going for your farm to get you started if you can't do that at all. Okay, let's move on to the bigger loans. So we can talk about the farm ownership loan that goes up to $600,000, and then there's a farm operating loan that goes up to $400,000. So I would personally recommend to focus more on the farm ownership loan if you can. So I know it sounds like a long time. You have to wait 3 years. You have to have 3 years of farm experience to get this. But it's like, you don't have to be making a ton of money. It could be 3 years of selling $1,000 of your produce that you grew in your backyard. So you can start really small. That's how I started. I started extremely small, and then that allowed me the opportunity to get a bigger loan and actually get a farm that I wanted, because the farm that I wanted cost more than $50,000. The microloan wasn't going to work for me. I wanted a farm that actually had a house and actually had some land on it, so I could actually have my successful business. And if you do get the microloan first with the mentorship, then you're kind of locked down, like you're stuck with that debt until you paid off, and they're not going to give you another loan on top of your microloan, unless your farm's doing like really good and it's like paying off that debt consistently or really quickly. Then they might. But the strategy I used was just to wait. So start really small, like literally just start in your backyard growing tomatoes or growing lettuce or growing kale or growing arugula. Like, find these high value crops that are most worth your time, that are the most profit per square foot. So even if you have, 100 square feet and you can find something that'll make you $10 a square foot for the whole season, that's $1,000 right there. And you can file that as a schedule under Schedule F on your taxes. So a Schedule F is how you document farm income. So if you do that for 3 years, then you'll have the 3 years of documented farm income, Schedule Fs. Even if it's only $1,000 3 years in a row, it's a proven concept. And then you can take that concept and project it onto a bigger farm. So say you're farming the 100 square feet, then you can project that, how many 100 square feet are there in an acre, so you can project that onto an acre, and then get how much money you can make that way. So it's a really smart way to start, is just small, so you don't have any debt or anything, and then you do have the option to get this bigger loan that'll actually get you in debt. But it's like a mortgage. It's a 40-year loan. So your payments are a lot lower than even a 30-year loan, which is already a really long time. The interest rates are really low right now. I think they're like 2.8% or something, which is all-time lows. They've been at extremely, like, I've never seen them this low before. I think I got mine at like 3.8, and last time I checked, they're at like 2.8. So the interest rate's extremely low, and it's a 40-year loan. So it's not really it's gonna keep your payment low because your interest rate isn't high. Okay, just to recap, so the farm ownership loan, you need to have 3 years. That's if you want to buy your own farm. And a farm operating loan, you need to have 1 year. And a microloan, you need to have at least a mentor. So those are the different tiers of the loans. And there's some broad requirements too for them. So you have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be an adult. You have to be able to have the capacity to take on the loan yourself. You have to have an acceptable credit history, so it doesn't use credit scores, but they do want you to have 36 months of consistent payments. So they don't want to see any missed payments for the past 36 months on your credit report. If there are things that come up, like you lost jobs or people are sick or different things like that, they do understand that, and you can work with them on that. But to have the best shot is to have no missed payments for the past 36 months, so the past 3 years. So I know that's kind of a long time for some people, but this is a big thing. This is a farm that costs $600,000. Like, most people can't get access to a loan that's $600,000 with zero down. So I think it's worth working for 3 years on a small farm and building your credit and not missing any payments and being consistent. And that way it shows the loan officer too that you're consistent and you're going to actually pay back this loan. Another key thing is your business plan that you present to the loan officer. It must be a profitable business plan. So it has to make sense. Like, the numbers have to crunch, the numbers have to make sense. So you can't just say you're going to sell 500,000 pounds of lettuce on a quarter acre and it's going to sell for $10 million. Like, it has to be real numbers, like solid numbers, solid production numbers, like X amount of pounds on X amount of land, and solid like sales numbers, like reasonable numbers. And obviously that all varies from person to person, but you have to try to take it from your own numbers and try to take it from other people's numbers that are in the space that are doing similar things. That's how you'll find a good baseline. And it's always good to give yourself a lot of room. So if you think your farm can make $5,000 a month, don't max out your mortgage. Leave yourself plenty of room for expenses and things to go wrong, and for production and prices not to be as high as you're projecting it. So make everything low, lowball everything if you can. So if you sell lettuce for $5, maybe put it for $4, just to give yourself a lot of room to make sure that the business plan is going to work. And you can even mention that to the loan officer, that you normally sell higher, but you wanted to put it even lower, just to make sure that you're going to be secure in your business plan. So the best thing to do is to just reach out. You should just find your local FSA office. So wherever you're looking for property in, find the office that's local to that area. So there's districts in every state, and they all cover different districts. So you could probably just search FSA office or USD office, and then they'll guide you to that. But find the local one in your area, or at least for the property that you want to buy, and call them and talk to them. Write down a bunch of questions and just ask them, and they'll be happy to help you. They might get back to you and email you. I have tons of email correspondences, just going back and forth. I've probably called them 3 or 4 dozen times, just asking questions and different things before I applied for my loan. So that's your best resource, is just to call them and ask. They're very friendly, they're very helpful, and they'll email you and send you any kind of information that you need. So check that out. And I'm working on this more. It seems like people are really into this, really need to know how to get farm loans. So I have a course right now that I'm working on, that's for profitable market gardening. So you can check that out down below. But I'm also working on a course for how to get farm loans. So I'm really going to dive in deep into the application and show you how to fill out the app, and show you how to fill out the business plan, and show you my emails and all my correspondences with these people, so you can see legit answers from the source, so you know that I'm not just so it's there in black and white. It's no, this is what this loan officer said, and we have it here documented. So if you like that, Please subscribe, please like, please stay tuned. I'm going to put a lot more information on farm loans and resources for people because I see how important this is. So thank you guys. Have a blessed day and take care.